Today is an exciting day for the internets. I, Mr. Adam, launched my new 25-part YouTube's Fact Me Up. The entire series will focus on one place in the UK. Where, I hear you ask? I'll give you a clue. It's the first place in the world to get a public supply of electricity. That's right, I'm here in Godalming. Join me over the next 25 weeks as we explore all the sites of Godalming, such as this church in Godalming, whatever this is, some shops, there's a museum. Hang on, just a sec. Hello? Yep. Oh. Okay, thanks, Mum. So it seems that while Godalming was the first place in the world to get a public supply of electricity, it didn't actually work very well, and they switched it off after a couple of years and went back to using gas. Somewhere else got electricity a few weeks after Godalming, stuck with it to this day, and has the world's longest unbroken supply of public electricity. So I guess I should do my 25-part Fact Me Up series about that place instead, wherever it might be. Roll titles. Electricity then. Brighton is absolutely ram-packed full of it, and it first arrived in early 1882 on the site of the Royal Mail sorting office on North Road, when the very first envelope of electricity arrived from London. Everybody was... Yep. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that does make more sense, to be honest. Okay. Thanks, Mum. So it seems that prior to being a sorting office, it was the Regent Iron Foundry, and there was actually a generator set up in the yard of that foundry, and that generator powered lighting for shops along Queen's Road and Western Road. The magic sizzle juice, as I'm sure they called it, proved incredibly popular. Soon there were 3 generators generating away, and by 1886 they were powering a total of around 1,000 light bulbs on an 8-mile circuit of the town. It then moved across the road in 1891, stayed there for 15 years before progressing to a series of much bigger power stations in the Southwark area, such as this one, which is called Jason. So with over 135 years of unbroken electricity, Brighton does have the world record. Yet when you talk to guidebooks or local historians, they will tell you that the things that caused Brighton to become the town and resort that it is now are like the patronage of the Prince Regent, Dr. Russell telling people to dip their glands in the sea, the coming of the railways, etc. Will they mention electricity? Most likely not at all. Yet Fact Me Up maintains that the electricity, public supply thereof, is possibly the most important factor of all. Do we have any evidence for that? Absolutely not. Do we have any examples? Yes. Are there not many of them? Yes. Cue very few examples. Exhibit 1, the Palace Pier, or if you want an argument, Brighton Pier. This is regarded as the most visited tourist attraction in the UK outside of London, and has been almost every year since it first opened. This dates from 1899, cost £27,000, around 2.5 million in today's money, and what the press most focused on when it first opened was the fact it was adorned with 3,000 light bulbs. Today there are 62,000. What is a pier, in essence, other than a bunch of flashing electric lights on the foreshore? Exhibit B, Volks Electric Railway, the world's first electric railway, if you don't include the one that opened in County Antrim a few months beforehand. This is currently undergoing a near £2 million restoration and first started in August 1883. Madcap local inventor Magnus Volk no longer needed his personal generator to power the lights in his home in Gloucester Place. He was now connected to Brighton's public electricity supply, so he brought said generator down to the seafront and launched this railway. That same year, he also put electric lighting in the Royal Pavilion, followed by the Dome, the Library, Pavilion Gardens, etc., all adding to the appeal of Brighton. Behind me is Brighton's Grand Hotel, or as I prefer to know it, the Grand Hotel Brighton. Today its advertising boasts of having some of the finest views of scaffolding in all of England, but back in history they shouted about being one of the first hotels with electric lights and electric lifts. So you see, from the illumination of the pavilion to the neon glow of the i360 Spacecock, Brighton still owes so much to the humble light bulb. Speaking of which, someone was once paid over £8,000 to carry a box of light bulbs 5 miles to Hove. Fact Me Up recreates that journey next week.